Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. This is a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with news topic list. Today is 18th of April. The first news is Uniform Code for Medical Device Marketing Practices. We'll see the detail about this draft bill. Second, India likely to attend upcoming Brics summit. This would be the first formal summit that would be coming after the standoff between India and China in Ladakh region. Third, UK Prime Minister to visit India soon. The fourth news is array of meeting on Finance Minister US agenda. She's traveling to United States. And the last is an editorial status of India's national cybersecurity strategy, something very important for your mains examination as well as for the prelims examination. Apart from this, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based question. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. And before I start the session, just to tell you a brief about our ongoing interview program. This is a mock interview program that is ongoing in Delhi as an offline and online mode. So those of you who will be appearing for the interview, or you know someone who is actually appearing, you can help them to know about the program. And special attention has been provided to the West Bengal and Odisha aspirants. So starting with the first news of the day, that is Uniform Code for Medical Devices Marketing Practices. This is important for General Studies Paper 2, that is Government Policies and Intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementations. So recently, Department of Pharmaceuticals, where they have come up with a publication of draft notification where it says that the Uniform Code for Medical Devices and Marketing Practices would be coming into that. This is something which is very important at this juncture where India is looking forward to regulate the marketing practices of the medical devices, right? So Department of Pharmaceutical ने ये draft release की है, ये medical device industries के लिए है, which require a standard operating procedures, also known as SOP, with transparency in the medical devices. So the order was issued by the DOP, that is Department of Pharmaceutical, and it's waiting for the stakeholders comment as well. क्या है इस पूरी draft की bill की जो aim है, we'll see that. So the aim of this bill or aim of this draft is to bring a voluntary code to regulate fair marketing practices by the medical device industry. So this particular bill envisages to regulate the medical device industries so that the ethical practice that is being operated in India should have an excellence and par with the other global standard. It also aims at giving industries an identity apart from influencing the marketing dynamics. जो पूरे फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उसको एक रेगुलेशन देना, एक आइडेंटिटी देना, एक ट्रांसपेरेंसी प्रमोट करना, ये कोशिश है इस ड्राफ्ट बिल की. दिस विल ऑल्सो इंश्योर क्रेडिबल हेल्थ केयर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, यू कैन से डिलीवरी सिस्टम, एज वेल एज रीस्ट्रेन फ्लाई बाय नाइट ऑपरेशन who pose great risk to the patients and reputation to the industry. Fly by night operations का मतलब होता है कोई ऐसी कंपनीज जो ऑपरेट कर रही है, कोई ऐसे मेडिकल डिवाइसेस जो ऑपरेट कर रही है, वो बहुत ही अपने जो ऑपरेशन है उनको जल्दी बंद कर देती है बिफोर द पेशेंट्स और कस्टमर्स गेट एक्चुअल बेनिफिट आउट ऑफ. तो उस तरह के लोगों को रोकना इस ऑपरेशन से, दिस इज ऑल्सो अ मेन एम, एंड इट विल हेल्प टू ऑपरेट ethical marketing practices that is essentially required. Now, need for ethical standard. This is what the emphasis has been given in this draft bill. So this particular draft bill, which call for the regulation of the medical devices, also come up with ethical standard practices, right? तो जो announcement हुई है central government की, it is following through a implementation of uniform code for the medical device marketing is voluntarily a hurting for every company which follows a high ethical standard. Now यहाँ पे categorization की जाएगी for the health company or health professional also, which broaden to include the operations theatre, intensive care units, technicians, nurses, along with the clinical. So these all would be the part of the ethical standard group that government is looking forward to increase it to augment it a level that we can also have such standard that is being practiced globally. Now the implementation of Uniform Code for Medical Devices Marketing Practices की अगर बात करें, it's a big step forward towards furthering with the patient interest and it will restrain the unethical element and restore the competitive and steam of the जो compliant players हैं उनके लिए. Moving to the other news, that is India likely to attend upcoming Brics summit. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement evolving India's and affecting India's interest. So this news is important. Why this is important? Because this BRICS summit is going to be chaired by China. And China, we are not having a very good relationship with China in terms of the dispute that has escalated in the Eastern Ladakh region, or you can say LAC. So recently, India has agreed to attend the virtual summit of the Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, that is the BRICS grouping, that would be held by the end of June 2022. I've already discussed about the evolution of BRICS in our DNA news analysis previously, जहाँ पे मैंने आपको बताया था पहले कैसे रशिया और चाइना के साथ ये स्टार्ट हुई, फिर इंडिया वाज अ पार्ट, देन साउथ अफ्रीका, एंड देन ब्राजील joined the BRICS, right? So BRICS is a country that hold a summit every year on the rotation basis of the presidency. So हर एक बार हर summit में rotations होती है presidentship की, और इस बार की जो 14th summit है उसमें चाइना की presidentship है, और जो 13th summit हुई थी उसमें India was a president, right? So India presided that summit. So for many other competitive examination, they can ask you for which particular summit India had chaired the BRICS summit. So this is again the factual important points. Now moving ahead, first summit since LAC standoff, ये जो 14th summit हो रही है जहाँ पे China is chairing the chair for the summit. So this would be the first summit after the standoff. So this would be hosted by China, and this is a concern. We have seen that because of the PLA transaggression that is arising from the year 2020, right? And still we do not have any conclusion with this regard. Although जो China के foreign minister थे, he has traveled to India, but he has promised that de-escalation process would fasten in terms of the agreement mutual agreed between India and Russia, particularly India and China, not Russia. Ahead of this year's summit, China foreign minister has visited India, and possibly they are looking forward with a gradual normalization of the ties between two countries. And this visit by the Chinese foreign minister was first since the standoff had actually taken place. And India hosted the last year BRICS summit, which was also held virtually, that was attended by the 5 leaders, that is the 5 member countries. क्या agenda है summit की, which is again important for you. The 14th summit, which is going to start, have some core areas and ideas that would be implemented. First is a joint vaccine research initiative. Second, plant constructions, the constructions हैं उनके लिए. Authorizations, local productions, mutual recognition of standard, targeted financial sanctions related services and terror financing, concern over humanitarian situation in Ukraine, support for multilateralism, and adherence to UN Charter. So these are some of the core priority areas or agenda of summit that the leaders would be discussing. Now some facts and figure about BRICS. As I've told you, the 5 member countries, which include Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The total population of all the country is 3.06 billion. If you talk about the area that they're occupying is 39.7 square kilometer. And the total GDP contribution of all 5 member countries include 16.8 trillion, right? And these are the share of the areas and other concern you can look upon for this. But that vital information, essentially, which I've told you, these are would be the important information. आपको इतनी ज़्यादा detail में जानने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. Now talking about the business with China, how the trade relationship between India and China will move ahead. So the two-way trade between India and China in 2021 has reached up to 125 billion, and this would cross 100 billion mark for the first time. This was driven by the India's import to the Chinese product, notably electronic products, chemicals, including the API, that is active pharmaceutical ingredients. Now, since the start of the pandemic, India has also imported some of the medical supplies, which is essentially required by a country like India and China and other countries also. So most FDI proposal from India has received from April 2020 are in turf with the China's linked firm, and 66th has been cleared while 193 has been rejected or withdrawn. So this is in terms of the total value of trade that is established between India and China in terms of some specific item like electronic products and the APIs. Now the other news, that is UK Prime Minister to visit India. This is important for General Studies paper 2. effect of policies and politics for developed and developing countries, including India's interest and India's diaspora. So, United Kingdom के जो Prime Minister Mr. Boris Johnson is scheduled to visit India next week, and he would be visiting directly to Gujarat instead of visiting to Delhi. Right. So the UK PM will be on a 2-day visit to India from April 21st to April 22. And the visit of the Prime Minister is expected to announce a major investment in the key industries. So it would be important once he reach India, the trade values and other agreement is negotiated. We'll definitely discuss the news as well. So the UK government has said that India is a major economic power and the world's largest democracy, and it's highly valued strategic partner with the UK and these uncertainty times. Definitely, UK is an important partner for India, and even for UK, India is an important partner. Both countries work on a mutual basis. But this is something which significantly had to be noted, that this is first European head which is coming to India after the Russia invasion to Ukraine, and India is also having a good relationship with Russia, right? तो इंडिया ने एब्सटेंट की थी इस वोटिंग पे, जहाँ पे यूरोपियन यूनियन के सारे कंट्रीज ने कहा था कि जिस तरह से रशिया ने एक्शन लिए हैं उसके इंडिया को भी उसमें अपनी बात रखनी चाहिए. बट इंडिया ऑल्दो हैज एब्सटेंट फ्रॉम दैट. सो दिस इज अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट एट दिस जंक्चर, राइट? यूके Prime Minister was on a secret visit to Ukraine during a visit, and he has met Ukrainian Prime Minister, and he also noted that UK would provide support to the Ukraine people. So this is a triangular effect in the multilateral, basically you can say the bilateral relationship that is ongoing between India, Ukraine, Russia and United Kingdom. Focus area of meeting की अगर बात करें, both countries, that is India and UK, look forward for strengthening the bilateral relationship. कुछ core areas हैं जो identified हैं, which include the focus on job creations, economic growth, energy security and defense, and negotiation for the bilateral free trade agreement. So this is specifically with regards to FTA that India has already signed with many other countries, which include Australia as well. Now moving ahead with the trade between India and Britain. So these are the type of the items that India export to UK. You can see this: pharmaceutical products, electrical equipments, apparel and clothes, nuclear reactor boils, others, and precious metals and stones, that is pearls and other diamonds. These are the stuff that India export to the United Kingdom. Now, some things that is being imported and exported, you can see of the complete list. अगर बात करें export to UK, and this is import from UK, तो what we import, export की मैंने आपको लिस्ट बता दी है. Import में machinery and equipments, ore and metal scrap, precious and semi-precious stones, silver, metal, aircraft parts, beverages and spirits, machinery, engineering goods, and professional instrument. This is what the things India import from the United Kingdom. And the other news, array of meeting on FM-US agenda. So this is something again important in terms of bilateral regional grouping and agreement evolving India's and affecting India's interest. And this is again important for General Studies Paper 3 in Indian economic development issues. So according to the Finance Minister, he is expected to hold a bilateral meeting, and this would be on the issues of mutual interest on several countries, which include Sri Lanka, Indonesia, South Africa, and South Korea. So the Finance Minister, Mr. Nirmala Sitharaman, she would be attending a meeting with the world leaders, right? Monetary Policy Fund के जो members हैं, G20 Finance के जो ministers होंगे, and the Board of Governor would be the meeting which she would be conducting before she leaves to the United States. क्या focus होगी इस visit की? So the first and foremost area that they would be looking forward is one-to-one meeting with the CEOs of the semiconductor energy sector, which gives priority. Basically government of India ने already semiconductors को लेकर के काफ़ी ज़्यादा priority दी है, and even the PLI scheme, the production link incentive scheme, is there for the semiconductors, right? तो ये काफ़ी important. If you're writing in mains paper, make sure you incorporate these points. And high level panel discussions on money at cost hosted by the managing director of the IMF is on the focus agenda. Apart from the official meeting, the World Bank, IMF, G20 Financial Action Task Force, and the Finance Minister will also attend the event on Atlantic Council, एक prominent think tank है जिसके साथ meeting होनी है. उसके बाद the Finance Minister would be meeting with the members and student of the Stanford University, right? So these are the priority, the focus area on this vision. श्रीलंकन डेलिगेशन पे भी बात होनी है. We know that Sri Lanka is facing an economic crisis, a great turmoil which is ongoing over there. So Sri Lanka delegation is expected to meet Indian membership or Indian representation on Washington, जहाँ पे IMF के साइडलाइन पे ये मीटिंग होनी है. और एडिशनली क्रेडिट देने की बात कही गई है. इंडिया ने ऑलरेडी 1 billion line of credit दी है श्रीलंका को during the time of economic crisis, and India so far has committed 1.9 billion to Sri Lanka from the credit of the essential item, which include fuel and also loan on the currency swaps. So these are the proactive measures that India has taken as an immediate neighbor to Sri Lanka. Now, Sri Lankan government delegation is ahead of US to engage with the IMF, जहाँ पे 4 billion की पैकेज श्रीलंका डिमांड करेगी इंडियन मॉनेटरी फंड से, इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड से, एंड desperately tries to severage the country Belgrade economy, which is currently reliant under the forex crisis. So the IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, would be assisting Sri Lanka in terms of giving a $4 billion package. Let's see how these things are going to be executed. Now, moving to the editorial part, this is an explained section from the Hindu, which is again important for your examination. We're considering the news that is most relevant for your examination, right? Either it is editorial or the explain part, which is the text section which has been recently added in the Hindu. So वहाँ से मैंने कुछ important article लिए आपके लिए, that is status of India's national cybersecurity strategy. This is important for general studies paper 2, that is government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementations. क्या theme है इस पूरी article की? Let's talk about the roadmap for the national cybersecurity strategy and some 4 important points that I'll be discussing with you to simplify this article. So why India need a cyber security policy, about the national cyber security strategy, क्या recommendations हैं data security council की, और roadmap क्या होनी चाहिए, ये सारे topic पे discussion होगी, and I'll give you a idea in-depth analysis about the entire thing. So recently the Data Security Council has prepared 22-page report which focuses upon 21 area to ensure safe and vibrant cyberspace in our country. Very important and very important for your mains as well. आपसे directly mains पे इस पे सवाल पूछे जा सकते हैं. So make sure ready with the topics. The report recommends that the national framework, which should be set in collaboration with the institution like NSDC or ISEA, that is Information Security Educational Awareness, उससे मिलके साथ एक professional certificate in security भी करने की ज़रूरत है. This is what the Data Security Council of India has to say. Now, DSCI further recommend creating of cyber security services in country, and India is yet to implement the national cyber security strategy, which has been in work since 2020. बात करें क्या ज़रूरत है इंडिया को साइबर सिक्योरिटी की, किस कारण के लिए ज़रूरत है, why India is required. So basically अगर आप कुछ international firms का report देखें, which include the American Cyber Security Palo Alto Network, they have reported that Maharashtra has targeted being most among all the cyber crime on ransom that has been. तो 42% जो cases इंडिया में report हुए हैं वो महाराष्ट्र से हुए. Now the report state that India is among the economically profitable countries and this make it more vulnerable to this group, right? इस वजह से यहाँ पे क्रिप्टो करेंसी की भी रेगुलेशंस नहीं है, और जो फाइनेंशियल मार्केट होने की वजह से मुंबई एक ऐसी प्लेस है जो मोर सब्सेप्टेबल है टू द रैंसम एंड malware attacks and cyber security issues, concern and loopholes. So India organization has witnessed 218% increase in the ransom, which is higher than the global average, which is 21%. You can see almost 200% increase that we have seen, right? Now, National Cyber Security Strategy की अगर बात करें, so the Data Security Council has come up with 21 areas of priority, जहाँ पे कोशिश ये की गई है safe, secure और trusted, resilient, vibrant cyber space बनाया जाए इंडिया के लिए. And the main sector of the focus include, I'll be discussing some of them one by one. The first is large scale digitalization for the public services. ये एक ऐसी सर्विसेज होगी जो अर्ली स्टेज में रिक्वायर्ड होगी, जहाँ पे इंस्टीट्यूशनल कैपेसिटी डेवलप की जाएगी, which will call for assessment, evaluation, certifications and rating of the core devices. Now the second aspect is supply chain security. This would be a robust monitoring mapping supply chain for an integral circuit and electronic products. So whatever products, devices, system, or you can say the server that is being used would be also the part of the supply chain security. Critical information infrastructure point, यहाँ पे supervisory control, Data acquisitions की बात की गई है, which would be integrated with the enterprise security, and it would have a repository of vulnerabilities that should be maintained. Digital payments की अगर बात करें, there should be a mapping and modeling of the devices platform deployed, transacting entities, payment flows, interface and data exchange, as well as the threat research and sharing intelligence. Now, state level security policies की अगर बात करें, how the state need to endeavor in their part. So the state cyber security policies guideline for security architectures, operation governance needed to be developed as well. Now, some recommendations by the Data Security Council. This is specifically important for your mains paper. अगर आप मेंस में लिख रहे हैं तो आपको ये पॉइंट हाईलाइट करने पड़ेंगे कि क्या क्या recommendations दी है कमेटी ने. So the Data Security Committee has highlighted some of the important recommendations. First is budgetary provisions. Definitely they have come up कि जहाँ पे 0.2% की allocations होती है उसको बढ़ा करके 1% की जाए, और उस 1% में सबसे ज़्यादा जो allocations होनी चाहिए वो IT और टेक्नोलॉजी डिपार्टमेंट को होनी चाहिए, right? And even they suggested for a fund for cyber security and providing funding to the state capabilities in the same field. Research, innovation, skill, technology development की बात की गई है. So they're setting up a short and long term agenda जहाँ पे cyber security को लेकर के प्रोग्राम बनाया जाए. Even the depth tech cyber security innovations can be the part of this long roadmap that India is coming up with. क्राइसिस मैनेजमेंट के लिए DSCI ने रिकमेंड किया है कि साइबर सिक्योरिटी ड्रिल्स होने की जरूरत है जहाँ पे रियल टाइम सिचुएशन को काटर करते हुए स्ट्रक की ड्रिलिंग प्रोसेस की जाए. एंड इट ऑल्सो important to have a simulation exercise in the cross-border scenario, and it must help taken into all the point considerations. Cybercrime investigation, something very important because the cases reported has to be investigated at the end, and the conclusive result has to be there that we come to track out that actual kahan se ye loophole hui hai. So the report recommend underlining the judicial system by creating law, resolve the spamming of the fake news, right? जो fake news है उनको लेकर के. Suggested charting 5-year roadmap factor possible, setting up an exclusive court. एक exclusive court बनाने की बात की गई है साइबर क्राइम्स के लिए. वी नो दैट इंडियन जुडिशरी इज ऑल्सो पेंडिंग विद लॉट मोर केसेस, तो और अगर उसको बर्डन की जाए तो केसेस के रिजोल्यूशंस कम हो जाएंगे, एंड इवन जो रेशियो सक्सेस रेट है वो कम होगी. इसलिए एक एक्सक्लूसिव कोड बनाई जाए जो इन सारे मैटर को डील करे. डिजिटल एविडेंस बनाई जाए अंडर द सेक्शन 97A ऑफ द IT. So if you're writing in mains paper, make sure these are some of the most important points that you have to note in the examination. साइबर इंश्योरेंस, THC ने रिकमेंड किया कि साइबर इंश्योरेंस की जरूरत है जहाँ पे क्रिटिकल इन्फॉर्मेशन और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रखे जाते हैं, जो रिस्क इन्वॉल्व है उसके लिए इंश्योरेंस होनी चाहिए. साइबर डिप्लोमेसी की बात की जाए, दैट अ ह्यूज रोल प्ले इन स्टॉपिंग द global relations. Further diplomacy, government should promote brand India as a responsible player in the cyber security and create a cyber envoy for the key country. जिस तरह से IFS एम्बेसडर्स होते हैं उस तरह से साइबर इनवॉइस की भी जरूरत है. रोड मैप फॉर द इम्प्लीमेंटेशंस की अगर बात करें, इन रीसेंट बजट द पार्लियामेंट एंड सेवरल MP हैज क्वेश्चन अबाउट द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट, हाउ द गवर्नमेंट इज गोइंग टू एग्जीक्यूट इट. दिस वाज अ क्वेश्चन व्हिच वाज मेड इन द पार्लियामेंट, एंड इन रिस्पॉन्स टू दैट the government has categorically stated that the draft national cybersecurity strategy would be coming into action, and this would address the national cyberspace problem also, right? So the government has not mentioned the deadline for the implementation. They said that we are planning and comprehensively will be implementing it very soon. So coordination is there between all the countries, and the center has said that there are no plan to coordinate with other countries in terms of getting things implemented done. बिकॉज पेगासस की भी इश्यूज आपने देखी हैं, और भी बहुत सारे ऐसे इश्यूज हैं इंडिया में जो कंसर्न करते हैं फॉर अ डेटा सिक्योरिटी. एंड इवन सुप्रीम कोर्ट इन केएच पुट्टास्वामी जजमेंट हैज कैटेगोरिकली स्टेटेड अबाउट राइट टू प्राइवेसी. तो ये तीनों कंटेक्स्ट को, तीनों आप अगर डॉट को कनेक्ट करोगे, यू विल फाइंड दैट अ क्वेश्चन पॉसिबली कैन बी आस्क्ड इन द UPSC मेंस एग्जामिनेशन. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answer of yesterday question, that is for the Saturday. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is D. Today's MCQ for practice, आपको बताना है New START nuclear treaty was recently signed between which among the following countries? India, Japan, India, Russia, USA and Russia, and Japan or Russia. So look for the correct answer. If you know, it's well and good. If not, you have to search for the one. The second is National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management is located at which among the following cities? New Delhi, Chennai, Gurugram, and Hyderabad. This is Chennai. So this was all about the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.